Hi everyone, it's Julie Boyer here of Wake Up with Gratitude, and I'm doing another one of my video series of creating a new vision of life during a pandemic. So here we are. It is Friday, March 27th, and for many people it is the end of 2 weeks of working from home or socialized or physical distancing. The name has been changed, or maybe even finishing an isolation period from being away. And what we've all come to realize is that it's going to be a lot longer than 2 weeks, depending on which official you listen to. It's at least a month. It's likely going to be 3. It could be more. So we really want to start thinking about how we're going to design our lives with this new way of living, which is the majority of our lives are going to be lived online in order to connect with other people. What a gift. I mean, to have the internet at a time like this, to have all these incredible tools at our disposal for us to become, a voice of kindness, the voice of gratitude, of inspiration, of, exploring our gifts and sharing them with other people. And today's video, I really want to talk about creating content because there's never been a better time to create content. Now, some of you are still working. I'm actually still working. This is technically my work, but I also have another business that I run with nutritional supplements. So I'm still working in that business as well. My husband is still working from home as well. And there's many of you who are actually still working in our community, keeping our essential services going. And of course, the frontline healthcare workers that are working extremely hard and going through really difficult times in terms of their work. On the other hand, there are many who have lost their jobs through no fault of their own. Their industry may or may not recover. Their small business may or may not reopen. And really, that's who I'm talking to right now in the majority, because now is the time for reinvention and trying new things and experimenting. And more people are online. There are more people sitting on their phones and watching. And what we want to do is we want to give them something to look at or read or watch or listen to that is not the news. I just listened to a great podcast by Brene Brown. She just launched a brand new podcast. I couldn't think of a better time for Brene Brown to launch a podcast. It's called Unlocking Us. And she said, what's going to be most important for us as we move forward is to limit the amount of news that we're intaking right now, because it's just not going to help us. So we have this beautiful opportunity to create content, and content usually comes in one of 4 forms. So there's audio content, there's video content, written or visual or graphic art. And I love listening to Gary Vaynerchuk. He is the king of content. He actually published a content deck that teaches you how to actually create content. So I'm going to put a link to that in my video as well, so you can go through his deck. There's tons of ideas there, and a lot of my ideas are inspired by watching and listening to Gary V. And he recommends, because there are so many different ways for us to express ourselves when we share content, that you don't have to do all of them. If you're not comfortable in front of video and you don't want to do videos, don't do videos. Maybe start a podcast or write. My sister is an amazing writer, and this time she has had and this experience that she's going through, she's started writing her blog again, and she's an excellent writer. And it's again, it's her perspective on what's happening, and I love it. She's a mom with 2 young kids. Her husband's now working from home. She's a teacher going to try and figure out how to teach in a whole different way. And she's sharing that through written content. So don't allow yourself to start in the content creation area that you're most comfortable with. And I know a lot of people say, Julie, you're so great on video. I'm great on video because I've done hundreds. I've probably done thousands of videos at this point. I started using Facebook Live when it was first introduced. So I don't know how long it's been, but I've started using it then. I chose not to do this video through a Facebook Live only because I want to share my screen, and I don't think you can do that yet with Facebook Live. So there's things I want to share on my screen with you guys. So that's why this is a Zoom. And then I'm going to do a premiere and a watch party, which are ways that you can share your video content without having to go live. So I'm going to start actually with audio, because in yesterday's video, I talked about working with online tools and I talked about creating a podcast. And the tools that I shared, unfortunately, when I shared my screen to talk about Audacity, I didn't realize the screen sharing hadn't changed, because you have to tell Zoom to change your screen sharing. So I apologize for that. So I'm going to start with audio. So audio, of course, is generally a podcast. It is very easy to start a podcast today. You can use something called Anchor FM, which is probably the easiest and cheapest way to do it. But I chose to use something called Libsyn. I'm going to share my screen now. Oh, okay, here we go. I think you can see my screen. This is a hard thing when you're recording and no one else is there. Okay, so I'm going to start with my screen, which means I'm hoping you can see everything that I'm sharing. Let me just double check where my share is. Yeah, okay, good. So you guys can see this. Awesome. Okay, so I use this system called Libsyn, where it allows me to actually put my podcast online. So, but of course the challenge is you have to like edit your audio and put it online, like put it together before you use Libsyn. So Libsyn's like a hosting. It allows your podcast to be distributed all over. So mine right now, it was super easy to do. It is an Apple podcast. It takes a couple days for Apple to approve your podcast. Stitcher, which is my favorite for Android. Spotify is automatic. I've got it on Google Podcasts now and iHeartRadio, and I think one more. It's very easy to do. They have lots of videos to teach you how to do this. It didn't take me long to figure it out. I really like Libsyn. It is a more professional. So if you're like podcast is my game, this is what I'm going to do right now, then go for it and sign up and pay. This is what I talked about yesterday in my video, which is using online tools, is like deciding where to spend your money on online tools is definitely a challenge. Okay, so now I'm going to show you, because I'm still sharing my screen, Audacity. So I use this free version. I don't know if there must be a paid version, but no one's asked me for money yet. So thank you to those who created Audacity. So what I do with Audacity is I actually can put together the tracks that I need for my podcast. So this takes a little bit of skill, but honestly, most people can figure this out. I promise you, if you've used something like a GarageBand before, you can figure out how to cut and clip tracks using Audacity. So I have an intro music and then a voice track. So my intro voice, I used royalty-free music, and then I cut it and looped it so it's not like the same as everybody else that's using that music. Then I do a guest intro if I have a guest. So I recorded my podcast episodes using Zoom, which is where I'm recording this right now. And I recorded the audio track. It automatically records it separately. So you have a separate audio track. So Zoom is amazing because you can share the video and the audio. So you're creating several pieces of content at the same time. So wonderful. So then I drop in the audio from the interview that I did. And then I've got an outro music and an outro voice. That's it. Super simple. I save it. I export it, bring it into Libsyn, use Canva. I mentioned that yesterday in my online tools. Use Canva to make the image for my gratitude podcast, and Libsyn will distribute it. Pretty awesome. So that's really, really helpful. So in terms of audio that you can use, so audio generally is podcasts, but I want you to think about too, a way to create content audio that can be very personal is using private messaging and using the little microphone. So you press on a microphone like an Instagram Messenger or Facebook Messenger, or through texting, and you send an audio message to someone instead of a text message. And it's such a really great way to connect and let people hear your voice, where you might not be able to make a phone call, but an audio message, that's creating content for your specific audience or your clients. I don't use this app. However, I know lots of people do. It's called Voxer, and it's an app you can use to communicate with audio messages with your clients, with your team, and that's a great app that you could use as well for audio. Okay, so audio, that's some ways to use audio. Obviously, there's like so much you can do with that, but I'm trying to keep this to kind of the basics. Okay, video. So video, how do we make videos? Well, the fantastic thing is that most of us, I'm pretty sure all of us, have this. this is a phone. And our phones, this is me hugging a tree, our phones have incredible cameras on them already. So you may want to get a tripod or a selfie stand. So I have one, see, bring it around for you guys. So I use this. Okay, so yeah, if you're ordering from Amazon, it might take a while, but we're gonna try and get some stuff for our home office from Best Buy in Canada here. Hopefully that'll arrive more quickly. So it's a stand for your phone, and then it has a ring light above it, so you're gonna be well lit when you're doing video. The biggest tip I can give you for video, honestly, is lighting. So having a window nearby or this ring light. So I'll just show you the difference when I turn my ring light off. So this is ring light on and off. What an incredible difference, right? How I'm lit. And it's behind, I have a computer, I don't have a laptop, so it's right behind my computer, and it lights up my whole face and doesn't throw shadows in a weird way. So if your window's behind you, you're gonna have shadows. If your window's to the side, mine's on the side, or even if you're facing a window, it can be just as hard. So to the side can be good, and then a ring light. Again, these are all like, you don't have to do all this. It doesn't have to be complicated. You can literally hold your phone and turn it and do a Facebook Live. Like that works just fine. Cameras on your phones today are incredible. This is the one thing I want to warn you about, is if you're doing, if you're doing a selfie video, that will work really well. And the camera, you'll be looking at the camera. If you're doing the camera this way, so the camera, and then I'm looking at my camera here, it is very hard to appear like you're looking into the camera. So if you are doing it that way, you want to do a horizontal video with your phone, use a tripod, not the boom stand that I have, but just a tripod, which I also have. And then you really need someone else to help place it correctly so that you're looking at the camera. So I did this whole video series, and I kept recording the intro video again and again and again, because I wasn't looking in the video. I looked like I was looking to the side. So that's a warning about using your phone when you use it horizontally, and it's not a selfie, it's the other way. So video, you can upload video, you can do the Facebook Live videos, right? So Facebook Live is a great one. There's Instagram Live. So many artists right now, musicians, are doing Instagram Live parties. So, I mean, this is an amazing tool. And you can have a party with people. You can schedule. Facebook Live is being used right now for fitness classes, right? Like all these ways that we hadn't thought about, the way that we can use video is really transforming people's businesses. So I'm recording a video right now on Zoom. I'm going to upload it to Facebook, and then I'm going to upload it as a premiere because I'm doing it through my business page. If you don't have your business page, totally fine. You can upload it on your personal page. That's fine too. But I love this, like creating a premiere, and then once it premieres, people are notified, and then I do a watch party, and we're gonna watch this together. I'll watch, then if you're asking questions during the live watching of my video, I can answer you. So I also post my videos on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel, so I'll just give you a quick YouTube. Okay, share again. So YouTube, so I have a YouTube channel. Pretty simple. I don't have a ton of subscribers. I don't really care. It doesn't matter to me. I have a lot of videos actually, and I do. So I post my videos on YouTube. It's very easy to post, and then I have playlists. So one thing to do that's really helpful is to have different playlists. So for example, I have this playlist. It's the 30 Days of Self-Love playlist. So it's actually got 45 videos. So all of that, you can see how it's so interesting. See how much my hair has grown. I desperately need a haircut, but that'll be months from now. So I'm gonna have really beautiful long hair for like the first time in my life. See how short it was. That was the last time I had my haircut when I did that first video. Anyway, so I've got that. I've got the Practical Gratitude Experience. That's a private thing that I send out through email. What else do I have? I just created, anyway, you can create whatever you want you put your videos and then you can put them into a playlist. You can also do the same thing on Facebook. I'm just gonna go to my Gratitude Guru page. So this is my Facebook page. And in videos, you can actually create playlists for your videos as well. So here, for example, I've got playlists. So I've got a playlist creating a new vision of life during the pandemic. I've got my 30 days of self-love video. Oh, interesting. There's 44 in this one and 45 in the other one. I seem to have an extra video from somewhere. How exciting. I did my 30 days of gratitude. I went through all the chapters in my book a couple years ago, probably a year ago. A year ago, I did that. So yeah, you can have fun with it. Post your videos in so many different places. You can, like I said, post natively to apps, do live videos. Okay, so that's a lot for video. And then written. So written, of course, is you can post, you can create a blog and you can start a blog. You can do that for free. WordPress offers that. I think there's a bunch of other ways that you can do free blogs, but I know WordPress you can have a free site with WordPress, really easy to do. If you really like to write, you can also become a contributor for Thrive Global. So Thrive Global is, it's a community, and how to post. So just Thrive Global, and this tells you how to post on, oh, I'm not sharing my screen, sorry. Please let me try that again. Okay, so Thrive Global. So this is a website. So if you are already blogging and you want to get more traction on your on your blogs, you can post through Thrive Global, and it uses the WordPress. It actually tells you exactly how to do this. So it's a great way to share your written word. You don't even have to have a blog. I do recommend if you're going to post on something like Thrive Global that you do have a website to direct people to. So I was really excited. I, did the blog post and it was approved, which was so great. So they approved and I was like, yeah, super excited. And then my blog post on gratitude is my saving grace, how to be grateful during a pandemic, was then posted through the Thrive Global newsletter, which is really awesome. So I was really excited about that. So my blog also sits on I mentioned this yesterday, I do it through my Shopify site. They have a blog option. It's very simple. It's basic. I mean, there's not a lot going on. It's not super fancy, but this is where I blog. So blog, you can actually, what's great about your blog, there's so many places to post it. You could take your blog, you could take the body of it and put the first 2 paragraphs on Facebook and then link to your blog elsewhere. You can post natively on LinkedIn. You can, this is something I've been doing, which is really cool. I've been taking my blog posts and then making them into a podcast. So I'm not reading my blog posts, but I'm using some of what I've written and inspired from my blog post, making that into a podcast. So, right, there's like so many ways you can take and then I could video myself speaking as well. So there's so many ways you can take one piece of content and repurpose it again and again and again. So blog posting, really great, but written can be anything. Written, honestly, can just be posting on Facebook in a post and sharing, your tips or your expertise or whatever that may be. So right now, people are really desperate for stuff that is taking their mind off things. So I want to show one more thing too, that is, if you are a writer, this is called HARO, which is Help a Reporter Out. So you go to this site, which is, I think, sorry, finding the site. Here we go. So you go to helpareporter.com and you click on I'm a journalist, and then you get added to the email list and you get emails 2 times a day. And then it tells you, what do we need people to write about? Sometimes it's just a quote, sometimes it's a full article. So this is great if you're a writer, because this is a great way to have your expertise shared with a lot of different places. Like there's tons. So yeah, it comes in twice a day, and it's a great way to take advantage of your skills as a writer. So that is writing. I'm sure there are so many other ways we can share written and stuff. I'm just kind of, like I said, I'm giving you an overview and just getting your ideas going on how to share. The last thing is visual. So visual can be graphics, visual can be photos. So for me, visual means photo. So I started a photo business sort of accidentally. I started taking pictures when I moved to Vancouver Island a year and a half ago, and I started getting people asking me for my photos, and it became a business and kind of fun. That business is temporarily closed for right now. I'm going to try and figure out a way to maybe do local drop-offs. I don't know. I'm still hesitating around that as well. I just don't know what's safe and what's not right now. So for the time being, you can just enjoy all my photos. So I have my photos. I post them on Instagram. I also use Facebook quite a bit to share my photos. I also share my videos of the sunrise. So yes, that's a video, but I use it more as like a visual art kind of thing. I follow a wonderful young lady on Instagram who is a hula hooper. So she actually does these beautiful hula hooping videos, shows us her hooping, right? Like there's just the amount of stuff that you can do with your creative visual art, whether it be dance or movement or photos or art and design and whatever it is, there's so many opportunities. Pinterest would be obviously a really amazing place to share visual art and design ideas, and there's just no end to how you can be creative in a visual art way. You know, do you draw, do you paint, sculpting, making crafts? You can make crafts and do a video of you making a craft and post it on Facebook and connect on Pinterest. I mean, like I said, the same piece of content can be shared so many times. And there's just such a need right now for us to share our gifts. We always complain that we just don't have the time to do our passions. Well, yeah, you know what? We might be out of a job and it might never come back. So there's never been a better time to really lean into our gifts and start exploring. And you might not make any money doing this stuff right now because people are struggling financially, or you might. I want to mention one last amazing way to share content, which is not what I do, but is what my husband does. So my husband, I'm going to share with you guys. So my husband does Twitch. There we go. So my husband, oh, whoops, I did not do that right. Twitch.com. I think that's it. There we go. Okay. So my husband does video game streaming. So right now he's hosting someone else. Let me go right to his channel. So he, sorry, there's an ad, which he gets paid a couple cents if I watch the ad. So sorry about the ad. Anyway, you can watch his videos, you can watch his clips, but he has been doing online video game streaming for, I guess he's in his second month now. And this is an amazing way to create content right now because people are home and they need to be entertained. And I'm so proud of my husband for doing this because this is like, he's so good at this. He loves playing video games. He's like, I've been training for this my whole life. It's like, yeah, you have, but he's funny. And I just don't know what happened there. So hopefully, well, we'll see when I watch this again. Anyway, I was just sharing about the fact that my husband does video game streaming, and you know, this is his stream. He plays a game called Borderlands 3. He also plays Diablo 3. He really enjoys it and he has fun, and so much so that we are actually going to invest in building him an office right now because he and I share an office. He's working from home now for the foreseeable future. So every time I do a video, he has to leave. So obviously that is not conducive to his work and obviously not conducive to my work because I am not in the office very much at all right now because he really needs to be, he's a computer programmer by day. Literally this man spends like 12 hours a day in front of a computer and it makes him happy. So we're doing that. We're investing in allowing him to create more content. So there's so many opportunities. I want to hear from you. What are you doing to create content? Have I inspired you to create more content? Tell me what you're going to be doing. Let me know where to find you. Where do I follow you? Do you have a brand new podcast that you just launched? Please comment and let us know where to find you and how we can support your content today. Thanks everyone. And yeah, please post and share. I want to hear from you guys. Thanks.